Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to EA Tetragrammaton, where we are playing This is turn 66, and this might be a long turn, not just it's probably going to be a normal length turn for guys, but it's going to be a very long turn for us because we are in the middle of the pause. It is threaded forging bug, I guess. There's a bug going around right now with if you forge something, there's the chance that it doesn't happen. It also doesn't take the gems, but it just wastes the mage turn. So this turn is actually on pause. You can see there's no timer on it. It's been on pause for about a day and a half now. No idea how long it's going to be paused, but we're going to go ahead and finish off the turn, and hopefully we will not have to wait too terribly long because the next turn is probably going to be deciding for. So first up, we've got Conjuration 7 has been researched. Good shit. Alright, so Conjuration 7 means we have Mound Fiends now. On our way to Conjuration 8, which is Well of Misery, and then on our way to Conjuration 9 for Tartarians, in theory. Ishib 18 has been attacked by a Lesser Horror. Watch this. But Ishib 18 comes packed with some actual guards, so might actually be able to do something, fortunately. These guards are robust enough to hold at least a little bit against just a single horror. If this was multiple horrors, probably not. But for whatever reason, we get another Wave Warriors, and then we get a Water Elemental. And the Water Elemental is kind of what is going to make the difference, because the Water Elemental comes in here and starts swinging, swing. Kills it. Very nice. Okay, so we survived that. We've got a Harspex that found nothing. We've got a Dire Portent. As Earthblood Deepwell goes right the fuck back up. It was down for a single turn, and then it went right the fuck back up. We've taken control of the province of Defaros. There was nothing in there. Again, Pan has decided not to put any. This is puzzling to me, right? Pan, seeing that I am retaking provinces with things like scouts, right, has still chosen to leave provinces undefended, no PD, nothing, right? Which is definitely like, if you see people start taking provinces, and I'm assuming this is going to change. I'm assuming it missed a turn or wasn't paying attention, missed a province, what have you, right? But if you see people start counter-raiding with scouts, you put a PD in there, because that'll fix that shit real quick. Okay, so we've got, we took back to Faros. There's a battle in World Pillar. Let's go and watch this real quick. This is a raid on our part against a small amount of PD. Liquid Body, Arc Skin, Moss Body, Quicken Self. Boom! Pew, pew, pew. Pop, 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 pop. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Are extremely over-invested thugs. We've got a battle in Bell where Pan has attacked me. Ha. It is the raiding party from L or Eal, I think. So, now granted, I did put a PD in there, so I lose a gold. But, oh, and I also lost a scout because I had a scout that was spawning here. So that's annoying. But we've taken control of Simri. We've taken control of Eal. No resistance, no resistance. Put a PD in those provinces. Resist me. Resist me. We have 820 people from the population of Pugria have left, the source of the wonderful melodies that can be heard night and day. So this is, again, I'm pretty sure, I can't remember which one this is. Let's look it up real quick. We're not doing anything else. Let's look it up. We've got Dom 5, Inspector. If I'm remembering correctly, that's a nature one, or is it Earth? Is it, the The mellow one? Is that what it's called? Bard. Melancholia? No, that's desertion. I don't think that. This is one of the nature ones. A lullaby or something like that. Beckoning. I bet it's beckoning. Wakens the forces of the wild, which call out to lure the unwary. Those who fall prey vanish into the woodlands, never to be seen. And the beckoning will only work in forest, and forest being to the call. Those are strong of mind. But Ugria is not a forest. So that must not be that. Wonderful melodies, night and day. I wonder. Is that an event? Can we search for that as an event? Load events. Just idle curiosity at this point, honestly. It says... I'm not finding anything. Probably a spell, but I do not know which spell. Alright, let's move on. We lost some people in Pugria. No big deal. Unexpected event in Titan's Breath Mountain or Peaks. We've got Unrest plus 25 minus population. Same in Whispering Wastes. Unfortunate. Our scout was discovered and attacked in Yomi. Sorry, Lanka. The construction of the city palisades in Titan's Breath Peaks has been finished, which is cool. We did some patrolling, and Enkidu Elder 14 has died from disease. Alright, we got a big ol' massive movement, but really not anything that we don't already know about. So let's talk about the little things first. We are continuing to raid into Pan's lands. We can see we're actually we've conjoined the Hinnom and empires, if for but a brief moment. So we're raiding further into Pan's lands. We are raiding away from Hall Woods because I don't know if he's going to stand and fight. I'm trying to make sure I can get my thugs out of there, but someone might get caught. It is what it is. We are actually diving into the water here with a couple of Ishibs. We're going to do our little 5 Ishib tactic. Try to take this pond from Kailasa because that would be cool. Give us another little province. This one probably more difficult to take away from us. We are moving elders back into provinces. Going to try to get back into Ial. Going to try to swap from Delka to Ial. So we'll do Feral Woods to Delka, Delka to Ial, etc. We are continuing to do some very risky site searching. We'll see how that goes. We are... we'll talk about the big move last. We are doing a little bit more forging, basically. I do not know if we're going to be successful with Forge Bug, but we'll see, right? And we're doing it. We are summoning a Mound Fiend, and I am worried about losing, mostly losing the Skull Staff, because once we get the Mound Fiend, I don't really care about losing the Bone Reader, but I don't want to lose the Skull Staff, so we are putting a bunch of gear on this Bone Reader to try to protect him, including a Ring of Warning, and this is part of the hopeful way that I am going to get around dealing with some of this fucking astral corruption shit is we got 10 bodyguards on him. So the hope is between 10 bodyguards and his own capabilities as a Death 3 mage is hopefully if he gets attacked by horrors, he will survive. And then we're going to turn around and do the exact same thing for the Mound Fiend, right? Is once he's like trying to forge his skull cap, right? We will probably put a Ring of Warning on him and hopefully be like, hey, can you with 10 bodyguards, potentially 10 bodyguards, you don't always get all your bodyguards, but with bodyguard 2, the Inky's Chosen tend to come along, right? The handful of bodyguards in high death, can you actually defend yourself from some horrors? And hopefully the answer is going to be yes. Otherwise, this is going to be a whole lot of investment that goes down the drain because I don't think astral corruption is going away anytime soon. Annoyingly. So this is the turn that we summon the Mound Fiend, and we'll see how that goes, right? We're going to see how that all develops. And I think the last big thing, really the last big thing is the movement, right? Is attacking in Hall Woods. So let's take a look at what all is going there. We are hitting Bell with a scout, just because, and we've got thank God for Boots of the Messenger, because we are bringing people from all over. I talked about this you might notice there are way more freaking air gurus here. I talked about this last turn as a potential thing that I would change, but I basically brought most of the air gurus from Titan's Breath. I put Boots of the Messenger on them and jumped them from Titan's Breath to Fever Fins. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 air gurus here now, and I might have miscounted, but that's a lot of Thunderstrike / air elemental summons, because the ones that have gems are air elemental summoners. That's a lot. And the combination of why we wanted to do that is because we have the mobility. We want to make use of the mobility to be able to bring in this kind of like a high damage evocation blaster core, which is great. Obviously, we would want to have that type of core because now it's not in Titan's Breath, right? What if we need it in Titan's Breath in a turn or two? Well, we're gonna try to get there, right? Get to the point to where we don't have to move all of our people around every single time, but we've got the mobility for it. We've got Boots of the Messenger out the wazoo, and this is why they're really awesome. It's because not only are they great for reinvigoration, but they got map move 9, and we make them for 3 freaking nature gems. We could make these to the end of the game, and they would still be useful no matter what, right? They are a great item. So, we want this because this is a lot of damage, but also we want this because it's more bodies, and we are trying to pile on the bodies. So we've got multiple scouts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 scouts. We had another scout here, so 9 scouts. Adding to the mix, we're bringing in another air guru from Perennia. We're bringing in more crystal sorceresses, again, with using boots from Tesiphon. We're bringing in another air guru from right? And this is a combination of amping up what our capabilities are, but also just increasing the amount of bodies that are in the province, because I'm expecting a shit ton of seductions, right? So we want to decrease the chances. The more people that we have there, the less likely it is that someone really important gets got. And the someone's really important being our big leaders, our NCs, right? We've got 2 NCs with this group, and our communion masters, right? So if the wrong communion master gets popped, ooh, that's a big deal. That hurts. That hurts a lot. So we want to make sure that we are flooding these fortress provinces with so many bodies, and we're going to continue, by the way, this is going to be a tactic that we continue to utilize. We're going to continue to produce scouts. We have way fewer scouts than I would prefer at this point. I want to get close to like 20 or 30 scouts that we can move along with big army blocks like this, because that's really going to help us cut down on the statistically. I mean, we could still get unlucky, right? That's the scenario. So it's still a matter of luck, as is so many things in these games, right? But we're weighing the chances in our favor, right? So should be cool. Let's take a look as a refresher of what we're actually bringing to the mix. So we already know our air gurus are bringing in a shit ton of they're mirror imaging themselves, because they're already going to be fog warriors, and then they're going to storm power, thunderstrike spam, and they are going to Shrek. But we're also bringing in Frostfind, right? So that our Yetis are not an issue for us. We're bringing in Fog Warriors and Thunderfind, so that we can try to decrease the amount of splash damage that our troops take via Thunderstrike spam, okay? Because Thunderstrike, if we take a look, right, the initial hit is huge, it's chunky. But there is an AoE as well, and the AoE is significantly less, right? And if we have thunder resistance, then we do not have to worry about the AoE nearly as much. Now, if we miscast, like if we drop a Thunderstrike into the middle of our own shit, it's still gonna fucking hook that shit up. But it might actually not kill someone, because you got to keep in mind our health is pretty high. We've got 46 health on Yetis, we've got 26 health on Urgard, etc. Right? So there's the possibility that with some resistance, we can actually survive a Thunderstrike. And with regeneration, we might actually be able to survive the Thunderstrike and survive the battle. So fingers crossed. What else do we got going on? We've got Mists of Deception coming out. So this was actually, I debated on whether or not I even wanted to try doing this. But with Storm Power and Power of the Spheres, I can get, because this Crystal Sorceress is going to get a path boost of 3. So that's going to put her at 4 air. Mists of Deception requires a very high amount of air. I think 6? Yeah, so Mists of Deception is a shit ton. But it's basically like an upgraded air howl, right? And it was like, if we can do it, why not try to do it? So with the Communion, this Crystal Sorceress is going to hit air 4. And she's immediately going to Storm. That's the important thing. We want to get Storm out there and start Thunderstriking. We're good to go. After that, though, she's going to Storm Power, which is going to turn her to an Air 5. Then she's going to Power the Spheres, which is going to turn her to an Air 6. And then she is going to Mists of Deception. Now, this might be really late in the battle if we're thinking about it, right? We've got Storm, which is a 200% cast time. So we've got 100% on Communion Master. Storm, which is 200, Storm Power, which is 100, so that's 400 total. Power of the Spheres, another 525, and then Mist of Deception is 225. So 750, we're getting 750%. So that's basically like 8 turns in, I guess, is when Mists of Deception might go off if we have the gems. Because that's another scenario, right? Is she's set to conservative magic use, but sometimes the game is a bitch. They might decide that, oh, we want to use 2 gems on Storm instead of 1 gem. So who the fuck knows, right? We might not be able to get Mist of Deception anyways, but if it comes up, It should be interesting. Okay. Doing our normal thing with Strength of Giants. We've got Anti-Magic coming up. We've got Doom coming up. We've got Aerofend coming up and a bunch of basic buffs. More Thunderstrike spam, more Air Elemental spam, Legions of Steel, Air Elementals, Strength of Giants, Mass Regeneration, and then Howl. Should be a big shit there. We've got more Thunderstrikes, Water Elementals coming out, of course. We've got Serpent's Blessing. We've got Relief coming out. We've got Fanaticism hitting the board. More Legions of Steel, more Thunderstrike, more Mass Protection coming out. Bunch more Water Elementals. We've got, I think, like 5 or 6 Water Elemental casters in this army. Legions of Steel, some Earth Elementals actually coming out, more Water Elementals, more Water Elementals, more Water Elementals, more Air Elementals, more Thunderstrike. Shit ton of Yetis. My goodness. Now these Yetis actually, I want to get them off of this chief. Can I do that? Can I put them with someone else? I know we've got NC4, and he's pretty much packed. NC... Yeah, we might be able to put these Yetis on, because, I mean, getting +3 morale is a big fucking deal. So let's see if we can't drop most of these Yetis. Maybe we can shift it around. Okay, so we're not going to be able to get all of those Yetis in there without some movement, it's like, but only 9? Yeah, we should be able to... not quite. We will have 1 Yeti just kind of like out in the mix. Let's just put this on someone. Put that on. Well, I'd rather have this guy be the single 0 morale guy versus a bunch of guys having -3. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people and jump into this group. And then all of these Yetis now have +3 morale. So that's really good. And these Yetis, this is 70 Yetis. These are actually ooh, thank you. These are actually kind of scary units. We've talked about this before, right? But with mass protection, they hit 10 protection, which isn't great, but with mass regeneration, they regenerate quite a bit. With fog warriors, they are hard to deal with. With Frostfend coming up, right? We don't have to worry about their chill aura, but the enemy does. Is good stuff. And actually, these sticks and stones, when there are so many of them, and they actually do sticks and stones, right? When there are 70 of these fuckers throwing sticks and stones, it's 140 freaking things in the air. In fact, we've got Wind Guide up, right? So our guys actually get more accurate. So the sticks and stones actually end up hitting pretty fucking hard and relatively accurately, I guess. It's kind of interesting because the Yetis suddenly turn into these like kind of crazy buckshot scenarios. And 22 range is actually way further than you might think. So anyways, that is a lot of shit going on in this battle. We've got a very big communion. Oh, we've got to move these guys. Now, I don't know. Do I really want to have... I definitely got to take retreat off of this scout. But I don't know if I want these gem scouts to actually be options. Probably not. We just want them there to... just want them to sneak. Have I set all the rest of my scouts up appropriately? I think I have. Looks like I have. Alright, cool. Good thing we caught that. Yeah, I think that's mostly it. It's a very big army. It's got 900 plus siege strength. This thing could pop almost anything in the game, sans like the citadels, the ones that have like 1,000 fucking port wall integrity, right? But we're absolutely gonna one turn pop this if we succeed, right? If we don't immediately get popped, because he might, my assumption is that he's going to try to hole up, but he might pull this army out and just run and just be like, okay, well, I can't win with all woods right now anyways. The Throne of Destiny doesn't get me a win. So might as well just hold this army and, you know, like not lose it. That I think might be the most prudent decision. But he might have an ace up his sleeve. He might be ready. You know, get some seductions off. The right situation, like we don't get Fog Warriors up, or we don't get Serpent's Blessing up, right? Oof. To the point to where I've been considering this for a while, doing some redundancies, right? Doing like a secondary Serpent's Blessing or a secondary Fog Warriors, just to like be like, okay, if this doesn't go up the first time, we definitely need it to go up the second time. So I don't know. We'll see though. It's possible that even with everything that I'm bringing here, that it's not enough. That he consolidates his forces, because we know he has way more centaurs in the area than just these. He could consolidate all those forces and have close to a 400 stack here, which would out-unit us, basically. And then just mow us down, because centaurs are such good units, right? And I don't think he has as much path diversity as I do right now. But I would be willing to bet that his research is as good, if not better. Right? So he's definitely got access. We know he has access to things like mass protection. We know he's got Serpent's Blessing, Foul Vapors. He probably has mass regeneration, right? So he can do all those things too. It's just, I think honestly in this situation, it's kind of our other paths that are potentially going to open up the door for us. The pretty intense amount of like air access that we have, right, with Fog Warriors and really big Thunderstrike spams, I think is gonna really be a big deal. And I think honestly, I think water elementals, having a mix of water elementals, I think is gonna be less impactful here than it potentially was in Titan's Breath. But I think having a mix of water elementals is a really important thing. Those things are really nasty, especially when they get buffs like Mass Regeneration or Fog Warriors or things like that. So there also, I want people to know, I have Mass Flight, and I'm aware that I have Mass Flight, and I have considered utilizing Mass Flight, but I do not think the strength of this army right here is in its mage core, and the amount of buffs and the amount of battle magic that it can bring to the fore. So I think Mass Flight is an incredibly useful tool. I think it might just get us killed here in the wrong situations. In the right situations, it can do crazy shit. But in my opinion, Mass Flight tends to be more valuable when you outnumber your opponent significantly. Right? Like if you have massive undead armies, if we were bringing a 600 stack to deal with a 300 stack, right? Then you Mass Flight that bad boy and whew, you just envelop everyone. But since we are the smaller army, potentially, right? Right now we're bigger. We're at 270. He's at 190, right? But I expect if he stands and fights, he's going to bring all of those centaurs together, and it's going to be a much closer numerically, or he's going to outnumber us. So that is that is why I'm not going the mass flight route, because I don't think that is a good plan for us. All right, that is going to be it for the turn. Globals, Earthblood Deep Well is back up. We are moving towards Well of Misery. We're excited. That's several turns before we'll hit Conjuration 8, though. See how it goes. Fingers crossed. Bye, everybody.